Yeah, we are live. Ready. Welcome, everyone. Welcome on Facebook. Welcome on YouTube. Welcome on Instagram. It's been a while that I go live on Instagram. Um, I just, on this particular Instagram handle, Inspiring Single Mom. Inspiring Single Mom is part of the branch of Family Life Builders TV. So today I just have few things to share with us as children are resuming school in Nigeria. I just want to say thank you so much to everyone for joining me, but I quickly want us to talk about empathy. Um, as children are resuming, I was having that conversation with my children and I was telling them how it's very important to know that with what is happening in Nigeria today and with what is happening to quite a number of people around today, there's a need for us to, all of us actually, there's a need for all of us to show a level of kindness to one another as we all resume back to school and we see so many things will happen. Some children will not have a new school bag. Some children will not have a new water bottle. Some children will not have a new school uniform. Some people will not have a new school shoe. As a matter of fact, some children will not be going to school at all. Remember, right now in Nigeria, in Maiduguri, you can see the dam that breaks and there's flood everywhere. About 70% of the city has been over flooded. Actually, if we can say it that way. Our heart goes out to the families and people who have been through a lot in Maiduguri right now. By the way, if you like to support them, Adeola Fayehun is having a support program. If you can donate any amount, any amount that you donate will be sent to those people. So having said that, let's dive into the little time that we have to share with each other today. So let's talk about empathy. Why is empathy necessary? Why is empathy important? Why not sympathy, or why not just feel? Um, is it not what's my business? With the other person. But the truth is, we all have business with one another. People are connected to us one way or the other. And if you're being kind to people, you are being kind to yourself. Of course, sometimes people will want to take advantage of you, but I tell you, it's very essential for us to know that we can always expect nothing from the people we do good to sometimes, but we can always expect that God Himself will reward every good that we do to other people. So let's dive into it. What is empathy actually? Empathy is simply the ability to put yourself in the shoe of the other person and try to feel the way the other person will feel if you were in their situation. It's that simple. And that's the number one way of how you can actually define empathy to your child or to your teenager. Empathy is the ability to understand and share the feeling of another person. It involves recognizing someone else's emotional states, imagining how they might feel, and responding with care and compassion, especially if it's about putting yourself in someone else's shoe and seeing the world from their perspective. Sometimes, because we tend not to see people from our own perspective, we tend to judge them, right? In this profession, one of the things that we learn first is how to empathize. But the truth is, you can't empathize with people without listening to them. The challenge I've seen in the world today is we're not listening. Parents are not listening to the children. And when I'm talking about listening, I'm not just talking about you listening to the person. I'm talking about you listening actively, you listening to their body language, you listening to their facial expressions. Because when we listen to how they are talking, not only what they are saying, but if we are listening through their hearts, we tend to bring out what they are not even saying. We will be able to hear what they are saying and what they are not saying. But if we don't listen actively, it's going to be hard for us to hear what they are saying and what they are not saying. So if you're watching from YouTube or you're watching from Facebook, I have the picture put up of empathy versus sympathy. So empathy, active listening, understanding someone else's feelings and how it will look like if you were to be in their shoes, right? But when it comes to sympathy, sympathy is passive. You really don't care. Sometimes you are even happy that they are going through that thing, and that's not cool. Like children language, that is not cool at all. Then another thing about sympathy is you're feeling sorry for the person. People have enough. They don't need you to feel sorry for them. But put yourself in their shoes. How will you feel? Another good thing about empathy is you get them and how you can actually offer a comfort. I remember so many times when we were in the university, we pay school fee in the university I attended. And sometimes some parents might not be able to pay their children's school fee. And so we will try and contribute money. And I see, so many times we've done that for our classmates because you will be sent out from the exam hall if you don't pay the school fee. And we've seen so many kindness in several ways that we've been able to support people. So maybe in your class, in your children's class, as they resume now, maybe a child is unable to pay their school fee. Maybe a child is unable to have a new school uniform, have a new water bottle. You can talk to your parents to support them without even letting them know. You can just go behind and say, Mommy, Daddy, this is what I see in my friend. Will you be able to support them and do something for them? They don't even have to tell the child. They just need to go to the class teacher or the principal and say, hey, our daughter or our son said this and we would like to support so child. And you give the gifts to the teacher or to the principal, and then they hand it over to the child. That is empathy. Don't feel sorry for people. Feel empathy. Feel the way you would feel if you were actually to be in their situation. So that is empathy versus sympathy. And the truth about this thing that I'm talking about, empathy versus sympathy, the truth about it is that you can't understand other people without understanding yourself. So if you understand other people, it's easier for you to understand yourself. If you love yourself, it's easier to love other people. If you are kind to yourself, it's easier for you to be kind to other people. But see, many of these things, they are transferable. So if we are not even kind to our children, how can our children be kind to other people? If we are not listening to our children, how can they listen to other people? If we're not listening to our home body, how can we understand our own body? So if we really don't understand ourselves, we can't understand others. And that's why I'm taking us to the wheel of emotions. Okay. So I'm going to expand my screen on YouTube and Facebook. Okay. So let's look at this together. Sometimes you're feeling a certain way and you really can't understand yourself. And so when your child comes to you for emotional support, you're unable to support them because you are not even able to support yourself, right? So when you feel fearful or maybe you feel excluded, what it means is that you are fearful. You are afraid of rejection. When you say, oh, well, I'm indifferent, it simply means you're feeling bad. That's the inner core of what you're feeling. Now, when you say I'm happy, that means most of the time you feel free, you feel joyful, you're curious, you feel successful, you feel confident. That is how you are feeling. But if you really can't name your emotion, you don't know how you are actually feeling. It's difficult for you to be able to know how other people are feeling. Right. So let's look at what are the things that uh, and understanding empathy and sympathy and letting our children know this. What will it do for us? What it will simply do for us is, number one, it will help the creativity of our children, because it makes you to be curious and you start thinking, okay, oh, this is how this person is feeling. Oh, okay. If somebody feel this way, okay, this might be the reason why they talk this way, right? So another thing is empathy make us feel safe. The other person will feel safe. You will also feel safe. And guess what empathy does? Empathy make the other person feel vulnerable, and then it makes you have emotional connection with one another, because when you empathize with that other person, they will see that you understand them, and so they want to open up the more. And when people are able to open up to us, then we connect in one way. The truth is, what brings us together is more than what separates us. So we shouldn't allow anything to actually separate us, no matter what we are, no matter the color of our skin, no matter the standard of living, the socioeconomic status of our parents. Let's tell our children, you can't afford to treat other people less than human. Let's tell our children, everyone is important. You are important. Other people are important. You're not superior to anyone. No one is superior to you. Let's strengthen our children's skill and let them understand this, and they will be able to teach people fairly anywhere they go. And the world is full of trouble enough, so don't let us add to it. Right? When I started, I mentioned what is happening in Medjugorje right now. So if you want to support, go to Adiola Fire. I'm not doing anything. I'm also doing my own contribution. But make sure you go to Adiola Fire YouTube channel. The video of what happened in Medjugorje is there. And if you have anything to send to those people in Medjugorje right now, please make sure you do it if you are able to. So let me go further and speak a little bit. So let's look at some real life situation. So maybe, for example, now a friend of yours is in your class and it looks like things are tough for their parents, or things are tough for them right now. What can you do? I know there's this lady, she's a multi-millionaire in dollars. While she was young, her mom became a drug addict, and she couldn't take care of herself. But you know what happened? One of our friends in class told her home parents, and they adopted her. And she said, for the first time in her life, she has the opportunity to sit in a dining and eat like a family. What experience would you love to create for somebody in your life and around you? That is what we call empathy. She doesn't feel sorrowful for that person, but they took a step. They took a beautiful step to create connection, to create opportunity. Do you think now that she's a millionaire today, do you think she will forget that family? No. So when you're supporting people, you don't even know, especially when it comes to children, when you're taking care of children, when you're supporting children, you don't even know who you are supporting. You don't even know who you are taking care of. Maybe a president tomorrow, maybe the wife of a president tomorrow, maybe a governor tomorrow, maybe a businesswoman tomorrow. You don't know who you are taking care of. Those are the real life situations that we can actually use to help. How many of us watch buy Dora the Explorer for our children when they were young. Obviously, my niece and my children also they watched Dora the Explorer when they were pretty much younger, toddler. And one thing about Dora is always providing a solution, right? Sometimes he will tell Boots not to cry. Dora will encourage everyone. Dora will support everyone. And there is, I don't know if we remember this mouse that they call sweeper. So sweeper is always coming to want to steal something from somebody. And then Dora will say, sweeper, do not sweep. And and if eventually sweeper steals something, Dora will provide a solution from a backpack, and then we'll call backpack, and then they will bring out something that will help them to find that thing back. That is empathy. We all have to learn that and teach our children, most importantly, in a time like this in Nigeria. So let's look at digital empathy. Uh, Sometimes ago, I hardly post things about my family because even before we got married, my husband does not really want us to put the family out there until the children are grown up and they want to be out there by themselves if they want to. But we chose not to, except for maybe my wedding videos or pictures. I don't think we really have a lot of things about our family out there. Our business, for me, business is business when it comes to the internet. Now, the what I'm trying to say is this. I posted when during one of our wedding anniversary or so, and I didn't post even on Facebook. I posted on one of our channel on YouTube, and somebody commented and said, "Who cares?" And I responded, I said, "God will heal you because you are sick, you know, because such a person is sick." When you see people go behind their keyboard, people that ordinarily will not have cause to meet you ever in their life. And sometimes, even they have the opportunity to meet you, they dare not talk to you that way. So when you see people doing that, you know they are sick. So you should show empathy to them, right? In return. So I said, well, God will heal your heart because there is so much hatred in you. And you know what they did? I don't know why they did that, but they deleted that evil comment because fans started fighting each other in that comment section. So they deleted it eventually. Don't, as children, and I said this to my children also, and I'm encouraging us parents also to do the same. When children are playing games, children love to play games, especially boys. And there's this way that people take games personal in Nigeria. And when somebody lost in a team, they totally forgot that it's a game. And then they start cursing each other. I say, what? For what? It's a game. Have fun. Because it's just a game. So, what am I saying? As parents, let's encourage our children. Even when you are online, you have the opportunity to be online. Don't post a wrong comment. Don't type a wrong comment. Every time you want to type something, there is something that will tell you not to do it. Sometimes it's even a good comment. Something will tell me not to do it. Right? When I see something and I feel it's wrong. Recently, I was watching a video, and most of the time, I don't want to just post anything because we are brands. So I want to be careful of what I put out there for my brand. So I was watching this video. It was a fashion show for toddlers. And one of the toddlers, actually, the laps was outside. And I said, Jesus, how can you bring out the laps of a toddler? Now, I saw beyond what they were showing. But basically, it's woman commodification. Basically, is sexification of a child. Because why will you bring out the laps of a toddler in a fashion show? Meanwhile, every other child was wearing a dress, one was holding a dog and all that. If I find the video is not on my laptop, but it's on my phone. If I see the video, I'll post it later in any of my channels. And I said, this is not okay. So I wanted to comment. Then I said, no, Tosin, you're a brand. You can't just do that. So I decided to keep quiet. I'll probably reach out or make a separate video to correct that. Apart from doing that, don't just post anything that will break the heart of somebody. I've seen people, a lot of people out there have committed suicide as a result of what people say to them. That brings me to the story of the Nigerian boys that recently were sent to the United States to face their prison term. Because why? One of the boys, a teenage boy in the United States, they try to pretend, they impersonate a lady. And that's another way I want parents to please teach your children. Do not ever, for any reason, open your body to anybody. Your body is precious. Don't open up your body for anybody. Don't look for love online. See, the time is coming, you will get that right person. When it's not time, if you're a teenager, you don't need a boyfriend for anything. If you're not getting married in the next 4 years, I don't really think you need any serious relationship. You just need friends. And that friend should not be a friend that will kiss you or touch you or romance you. That's not what you need as a teenager. You need to prioritize your life. Please, let's teach our children these things. It's a priority. If you prioritize your growth, your development, that is what I made a video maybe 2 weeks ago, and I said, if you become serious, God will be serious with you. Ideas flow every day, and those who are open to it will receive it. So, are your children open to those things, or what are they open to? Whatever they are open to will determine how they will relate to people online. So please, I'm begging us. This Nigerian boys made this guy committed suicide. They were requesting $1,000 from him, and he said he does not have. He has $300, and then he paid them. They've forgotten that in the United States, who is keeping money in the house for God's sake? Nobody. I don't know of maybe those who are into drugs, but an average American person, you will only see them with their Visa card or their credit card. Most people don't keep cash. So how do you expect a child to have $1,000 for God's sake? And so this kid told them that he's going to kill himself because they were threatening him that they were going to release the picture of his private parts that he has sent to them unknowingly. And guess what? He shot himself because they told him to do it quick. So he shot himself, and then his parent had the gunshot. And the police looked through all his messages, and that was how these Nigerian boys were caught. They were serving two of them that were first caught are serving 17 years jail term. Honestly, I feel like that is even small. The judge is merciful for making a teenage child commit suicide. So what am I saying? Let's tell our children to have empathy, even when they are dealing with people online. What you post, what you say, let's have empathy. Let's develop empathy on that. And that will be all. So the most important thing that I want us to remember, if you are not going to remember anything from what I said today, man your own emotion. When you man your own emotion, it's easier for you to understand the emotion of other people. If you don't have self compassion, it's going to be difficult for you to have compassion on another person. So have compassion on yourself, love yourself, and so that you can transfer that love to other people. I hope that helps somebody. I'll see you in the next one. Thank you for joining me today. God bless you. I appreciate everyone that joined me on Facebook. I appreciate everyone that joined me on YouTube. I appreciate everyone that joined me on Instagram. Um, Most of the time, I one of my vision, one message I have, and that is transformation. That is one message, but I speak the message in different language and different places. So I focus on parenting, marriage, and business. And basically, the foundation is transformation. If everything change about your life, it will affect your marriage, it will affect your business, and it will affect your parenting. And so, not to complicate things, I have series of channel where I talk about those things, but the core of my message is transformation. Identifying who you are helps you to help other people. It helps you to clarify what you were born to do. And it helps you even in taking charge of your parenting style. How that helps somebody. I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.